Welcome back, everybody. So it's Xero, Tim McAuliffe. This is Tim and Sid as we continue to discuss Game 5 of the NBA Final last night between the Raptors and the Warriors. The Kevin Durant injury, obviously a flashpoint on a number of fronts. We'll get to what it means for him and his future in just a second. But in terms of Toronto's reaction, the fans' reaction inside the building, this has been a flashpoint across North America, not just in the sporting world. It's been everywhere. And it's going to lead here this segment. Time for the starting lineup, brought to you by Swiss Chalet. Taste it once, love it forever. Before Tim and I dive into it, here's what some members of the Golden State Warriors said yesterday about Toronto's reaction to Kevin Durant's injury.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Come on, that's classless. And you know, for me, I've never had an experience like I think. For me, I've always witnessed Canadians be the nicest people that I've ever encountered, and that was classless.
Trashy. So trashy.
You want about to lay it off, or you want me to do it? I'm easy.
Go ahead.
I don't know exactly how many people in that building last night were cheering the injury, because people were cheering the injury. Mm-hmm. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Anyone who suggests no one was cheering the injury is either lying or stupid. Right. There was cheering going on in that building. The heat before the game, you and I are sitting out in Jurassic Park watching Durant take shots.
Yeah.
The crowd was booing the hits and cheering the misses. The heat on Durant from the Toronto fans before the game got underway was unlike anything I've ever seen in that building.
Katie sucks chance.
Game hadn't started.
Mm-hmm.
Game hadn't started. So to anyone who booed that kid when he was hurt, regardless of whether or not they knew the severity of the injury or not, is scum. Period. I don't want to talk about it. And there was a lot of people in that building doing it. Now, the other part of this, considering the context you and I just talked about, with Durant back, standing between, seemingly, the Raptors and their first NBA championship. Mm-hmm. That's the narrative. All the heat on Durant, the hatred, the passion being shown towards this kid. If that game last night was in Philadelphia, how would they have reacted? How would they have reacted in Philadelphia? If that game was in Boston.
Philadelphia's not fair. They booed Michael Irving on a stretcher.
That's why I'm using it as an example.
Okay, all right. Understood.
But if that's the reaction in Toronto last night, what do Philly fans do? What do Celtic fans do when Durant is standing between you and an NBA title? My biggest big picture issue with all of this is when you really think about the context of last night. I don't condone any of it, but I got news for you. In any Eastern Conference building last night, that exact same thing would happen. I guarantee Milwaukee, Philly, Boston, Miami, I don't care where they are. That kid gets booed the second the opposing fans, who don't give a damn about anything but winning, see Kevin Durant lying down.
Yeah. The other part of the equation that I don't think people played into, and listen, we both agree this is not a good look in any way, shape, or form, and there were a lot of not good looks for Toronto Raptor fans last night. But part of what plays into this, too, is him getting into it with Fred just before that.
Right.
And they were in the lane, and there was a back and forth and an argument, and that spikes up whatever hatred that already exists. Referees didn't call a foul. Fred just picks up his dribble. There's a little bit of an argument here. That adds to the fury. But like most things in 2019, nuance is lost, right? The first to overreact and throw their outrage seems to win. And everyone was there to throw the outrage at the thing that we all agreed did not personify the class with which Toronto fans and fans across this country of the Toronto Raptors had carried themselves with, right?
Correct.
Everyone can agree on that point, that in that moment, that was ridiculous. But then I think a lot of people realized the error of their ways, right? They understood what was going on here wasn't just a guy crumpling or a guy who was going to continue to play or the guy standing in the way of your NBA championship. It became the guy is really hurt oh crap, we were idiots. Let's give him a standing ovation and chant his name. But again, like many things in 2019, realizing the error of your ways is irrelevant to the outrage that is already occurring. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I know exactly what you're saying.
Like, I think a lot of people looked at this and said, oh my God, why were people waving? That's ridiculous. And then they tried to atone, but it's too late. People are already outraged. You can call it whatever you want. You can call it the PC police. You can call it whatever you want. They just tried to say, we're sorry, this is ridiculous. And no one was accepting the we're sorry, this is ridiculous. They just wanted to point the outrage, and rightfully so.